Hey yo, this is Mr. Z.
This is Fifth. Welcome to Mr. Z and Fifth.
Yeah.
What we talking about today, man?
Man, yo, we're gonna look into the life, and we're gonna look into the upliftment of Bill Cosby to the his downtime. Yeah.
So today's episode, the rise and fall of Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about how it relates to people like him who get accused of things and then don't get a chance to tell their side of the story before the actual facts come out. How the media portrays black men or black women or other people of color as far as being tried in a court of public opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll dive into that. I'll also talk about former Fox News analyst Bill O'Reilly.
Oh.
And
okay.
we'll do a compare and contrast. Yeah, we going there today. Just something that I want to talk about recently. It just happened. By the time this episode is up, I mean, it's probably old news by now, but anyway. But we're definitely going to talk about both bills. But we're also going to talk about, other people who get tried like that. You know what I'm saying? So, let's start off this way. Let's talk about Bill's background. I'll let you have that, Zaccheus.
Well, everybody is very familiar with but most people, even across the world, is familiar with Bill Cosby. I remember my times of Bill. I remember looking at the Fat Albert show. Hey, this is Fat Albert. I remember looking at that show, and I remember I think it was every Saturday afternoon. Saturday afternoon that show used to come on, the Bill Cosby show, the Fat Albert show, and it was just a cartoon that portrayed black youths growing up in the ghetto, man, and it was a cartoon that depicted the struggles and it was funny. If you can remember the Bill Cosby show, some of the young people today can't remember the Bill Cosby show, but I remember it, man.
They might not remember the Fat Albert show, but there was a movie, a modern day movie with Kenan Thompson. They did a movie called Fat Albert. Bill was in that one.
Is that the one with the Bill, like a Bill, come to life kind of thing? Yeah. I seen that. Yeah, I seen that. Yeah.
So that was put to life for a more current generation. Even though that movie came out, we might be going on almost 10 years since that movie came out.
I think that movie
it might be 10 years.
I think it came out like 99. That would be or maybe 2005.
It's 2000 something.
Yeah, 2005 maybe. I'm guessing 2005 that movie came out.
Yeah, so and then also he had what else he had the Brown Hornet.
Oh, Brown Hornet, yeah.
That was part of the Fat Albert show. That was like a little segment, right? Where you had the Brown Hornet. He was supposed to be like a superhero, right?
Oh, the Brown Hornet show, yeah.
Yeah, but that was kind of like in the middle of like 2004. Okay, 2004 is when the Fat Albert movie with Kenan Thompson came out. Man, that was close.
I knew it came out at that time.
Kenan Thompson, Marcus Houston, and Kyla Pratt. So, yeah, let me go back on that. So we also have the like you said, the Cosby Show.
You got the Cosby Show.
First off,
how he began, man. He did start. He began his career doing stand up. Yeah,
right. He was on I Spy. That was first.
Yeah, that was the very first. Yeah, the first one. Yes. Yeah. And that was in the 1960s.
Yeah, I Spy. Right.
Yeah, that was in the 1960s. Yeah.
And I think at one point, I think they wanted to give Bill a show before that or after that, before the Cosby Show.
Yeah.
But then he had, like I said, we had the historical Cosby Show, the images that showed.
Yeah.
It was unheard of at that time to have a show like that and to have the father and the mother both successful in a black family. That was untold at that time.
Back in the 80s when people would watch the Cosby Show, that was a show that people, and I remember my parents began to make a comment on that show. I said, boy, they're prominent. And I said, I like it. It was clean. it was, you see, both black folks, very, like you said before, very prominent, very successful. The doctor, Huxtable, remember that? Was it? Yeah.
Cliff
and Claire was the lawyer, the attorney. And the kids were going to school too at the time. So, man, I enjoyed that show. I remember many episodes of that show, and I enjoyed it, man. And
then later on, him and Felicia Rashad had another show together where she played his wife. The show was just called Cosby. That also featured Dougie Doug.
I remember that show. Yeah. I remember that show.
What's her name from A Living Color? I think her name was Takia. She's from A Living Color.
From A Living Color,
yeah, she was also the mother on Raven Simone show.
Oh, because you know that show. Let me get that show. Because the Cosby Show, and it didn't last too long. I remember it not lasting so long.
Right, and that was funny. Because it was more mature.
Yeah,
mm-hmm. I actually like that. A lot of people don't like that show, but I actually like that show as well. We've had people whose careers, other than just Bill, who started from it. Like I said, Felicia Rashad. I mean, her sister is Debbie Allen.
Yes.
So they both have done quite well.
Yes, in the career.
And,
yeah, man.
You've had Lisa Bonet, Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Dwayne, I forgot this brother's name.
We have Keisha Knight Pulliam, who was Rudy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You've had my man who appeared on that show, who was on Martin, who we know today is who played Cole, because he was Cockroach on Cosby on the Cosby Show.
Cosby Show. Yeah, remember Cockroach?
Right.
Yeah.
The Cosby Show also gave birth to a show called A Different World.
Which was
a show about
favorites.
HBCUs.
Yeah, and Spelman.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Spelman College. You had the Kadeen Hardison.
Spelman and Morehouse.
Morehouse College, yeah.
Spelman's for females and Morehouse is for guys.
Yeah, okay.
But it also dove into... a lot of people couldn't really relate to that show.
A Different World?
No. Because A Different World... Well, because everybody didn't go to a black historical black college.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was positive. Like you said, Kadeem Hardison and Jasmine Guy.
You got Cree Summers. Sinbad. You have Jasmine Guy, Cree Summers.
Jada Pinkett was on the show.
Charlene Brown. There's quite a few of them.
Lisa Bonet went on to be on that show because they was both produced by the same producers of the Cosby Show.
Yeah, you had the girl named tall dark-skinned sister, Vanessa Williams was on that. On that show, there's quite a few people was on that show that came off on that show. I enjoyed the time when Different World was on. Many episodes of Different World that aired that came on right after. It came on right after the Cosby Show, right?
Yeah.
It did, yeah.
Yeah, once it premiered. Yeah.
I know my parents love me. Oh yeah, I remember that show.
I forgot that. You know what? I used to know that theme by heart. It's a different world where we come from.
Yeah, man.
Forgot the rest of that.
Show. Yeah.
But y'all know the show. Yeah. So let's get into this.
Yeah.
So Bill Cosby, you know what? I to be honest with you, I forgot the year that he was accused of all this sexual assault.
Oh,
because it's been going on a year too?
Almost 2 years. That was in December 2015, I believe.
One of the first people to come out against him was former model Janice Dickinson.
Yeah, and then other people started coming out against him too.
Yeah, almost 20, almost up to 20 women. I mean,
yeah, man.
One of the things that made this so bad in the media is that, number one, he's a legend. Number two, he's a black man.
Yeah,
and so you've had white women accuse him. Now, let's talk about this historically, because Black Wall Street and Rosewood both got burned and bombed into ashes because a white woman falsely accused a black man of rape.
Facts.
Okay, so this is why in our community we take very seriously when our brothers and sisters, especially brothers, are accused of heinous acts. And my thing is, that don't mean we always think that they didn't do it, but what it should mean is You need to let them tell their side of the story before you automatically say they're guilty. Black people never get that benefit of the doubt. Ben Roethlisberger, quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers, allegedly was accused of raping women and paying them off. Allegedly. I don't want to catch a case here.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah.
But he wasn't thrown under the rocks like Kobe Bryant was before trial even happened with Kobe Bryant. With his case with the woman in Colorado.
I remember that. Yeah.
So the point I'm making is let the man tell his side of the story first. The thing is the media doesn't give that treatment. The media right now is kind of giving Bill O'Reilly a little bit of a slap on the wrist after his accusals of sexual assault. But here's the thing, or sexual harassment.
Right.
Allegedly.
Right.
I don't want to, let me say this right. Yeah. I don't want to catch a case. So this is alleged, right?
Yeah, it's alleged.
Fox News fires Bill O'Reilly. Okay. But what I notice is he doesn't catch heat like Bill did. Same thing with Donald Trump before he became president. Remember you had women coming forward to got him.
Man, they wanted to cancel all of the episodes, man.
Right. He didn't catch the same heat that Bill got. Bill got his show, got syndications of Bill Cosby's show taken off the air. It recently had came back.
Yeah.
But I think the only network showing it right now is Bounce TV.
Bounce TV,
I could be wrong.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe they're still showing some reruns.
Right.
But,
right.
But yeah, but they want to cancel everything, any kind of endorsement, anything that Bill Cosby was touching.
He also
they wanted to cancel.
Right. Jello pudding was gone. Jello was like, me ain't messing with Bill no more.
Yeah, so all of that, man.
I just want to get these points in here before we go further in. So you also had his events, his speaking engagements canceled. Netflix had a special that they were supposed to do.
Oh yeah,
that didn't. Yeah, he was going to do a stand-up comedy. Bill, look, this man was going to return, just like Dave Chappelle right now. He was going to get a deal with Netflix. It was going to give him some dough, and he was going to have his own stand-up special. It's been years since we've seen Bill.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And Bill's had classic stand-up
comedy series,
segment series shows.
Yeah,
that you could Google right now. You can get on, probably watch on YouTube or something.
Yeah,
you know. So when the trial, when you get to the point of this whole thing about no statute of limitations, ain't no such thing as statute of limitations when it comes to black folks. If you did something, when you were 5 years old, and if they find out what happened, and then you're now at 85 years old. They'll take you to court. Let's just keep it real.
Yeah.
You know. So
yeah, you know, it's just sad that it just continues to go on like that because, you know, Bill Cosby show didn't affect just the black community. It was positive in all communities. You know. And for them to be, and I was so annoyed for them to be putting them down like that, and they be throwing them under the bus and things like that, man. I was really, really, really taken back by that. And so much women by the truckload coming out and just saying he did this and he did that. But my question is too, why they come out with it now? Why you wait till 40 years later to come up with it now? That's a good question. That's a question I would like to ask them.
Allegedly, he was trying to buy a TV network.
Oh.
So, set up by design. You know, or start his own. Years ago, he tried to buy CBS, and then allegedly he tried to buy NBC 2 years ago. I don't know. But the thing is that it was manufactured. My thing is this. A lot of women came forward. That's a lot of women. Maybe, you know, at some point, one of those got to be somewhat true. I don't know. But the point I'm making is that's a lot of women to be coming forward. I mean, when it's one or two, it's one thing. But he had so many women. But then he also had a lot of women who decided not to stand up in court. I'm going to go ahead and assume that some of those women probably lied. I don't know. Allegedly, because some of these women are looking for
looking for some cash now.
Yeah. So, you know, allegedly, I don't want to get sued, but this is all alleged. I don't know why they didn't speak. But there have been reports that some did talk and some decided not to talk.
Right.
Once, like I always say, it's one thing to talk about something until it happens for real.
Yeah.
Now, they were on Dr. Phil talking about it. You had some women get on Dr. Phil. Now, let me be careful what I say here. I'm not trying to say that it's not hard for a woman to talk about things that have happened to them from a sexual assault, sexual harassment matter. Okay? I'm not saying that it's not. Yeah, it is hard.
It is hard.
Anybody who's been a victim of that is hard. So there are a lot of times where women do not speak out. What I'm specifically talking about the women who had all the courage in the world to go on Dr. Phil and say what they had to say. A lot of those women that was on Dr. Phil talking about how they would stand up in court and what Bill Cosby had did to them, they didn't show up to court. So, like I said, it's one thing to talk about something until it happens for real. So, Zaccheus, what's your take on Bill and people like Bill, the Bills of the world, the Kobe Bryants of this world? What do you see as far as whether it be past, present, or future? Because this stuff is still going to continue with this justice system we got. How do you think? What is the advice you would give specifically black men now going forward to avoid these accusations?
Well, you know what? It's like, when I look at artists and I look at some, and I look at comedians and I look at athletes, specifically us, our people, man. We gotta cross our eyes and dot our T's. Every little thing that we do. The rules are different for us. When I really mean by the rules are different for us, meaning that we can't do what others do. We gotta when we representing, we gotta represent strong. We gotta represent fully. Like I see artists like DMX. You're always trying to get DMX on something, man. He's crazy now. Now he's saying he's hallucinating now. He needs to get on some medication now. And even going back to Bill Cosby. And I don't even know if those accusations are true or not at all, to be honest with you. Sometimes you could be doing the littlest thing and a woman could accuse you of doing something wrong. Sometimes you could be doing, you don't even have to be touching her. She could be just her by your presence, she's uncomfortable and all of a sudden now you're jumped up on some charges that you have no idea about. So we just got to be careful of how we step. We got to be careful on who we collaborate with, who we hung out with. And this is going on to even brothers like Chris Brown. Got to be careful who you hang out with. Remember if you remember the situation where his home was robbed, got to be careful who you roll with, man.
Got that right.
Yeah. So we got to be if you're being watched and you're in a public eye, you just got to be careful of what you do.
Real quick, I'm sorry. You mentioned Chris Brown, so I got to say this for people who don't know.
Yeah.
You're talking about that event where a woman who called the cops on him.
Yeah.
And SWAT team showed up.
Yeah, SWAT team showed up, yeah.
Now, I have to go there. This woman was Caucasian. And anytime, this is facts, this is not made up, whether you see it in the past or present, when white women are calling the cops and they're saying that they're under distress, and the person that they're calling the cops on is somebody black, the cops are there very quickly, and they're not coming to negotiate. This is a fact.
No, it's facts. Facts.
Okay?
Facts. Yep.
So, this is why I'm mentioning that. Okay, now get back to what you were saying.
Yes, so we gotta be careful of our circle. We gotta watch who we keep in our circle. And not everybody's our friend. Not everybody that smile with you and laugh with you and pat you on the back and think that you're cool and we're brethren and we're sistren and we're cool like that. No, it's not. No, you just gotta be careful and mindful of what we do and who we roll with. It's when I think about Bill Cosby's situation, man, I just think about him touching lives, man. Over the years, he touched a lot of lives over the years. his shows. Different. I know a different world for sure. I can. Because students they can relate to a different world. They can't relate to the all black atmosphere, but they can relate to different world as far as school and what you go through in school. And the Cosby Show was a positive image because many times they showed a negative image of black folks, going poor. I don't know if you remember the movie called they had a movie called Straight Outta is it Straight Outta Brooklyn? I think it's Straight Outta Brooklyn.
Yeah, Straight Outta Brooklyn.
Yeah, Straight Outta Brooklyn, which depicts man struggling, roughing it out. And there's had a lot of movies like that. Even before the Cosby Show, had a lot of movies that didn't depict us too well.
Well, remember the Cosby Show was good to see because you've had Good Times, which was coonery. The only one who was conscious on that show was Michael.
Yeah,
JJ Walker was a minstrel show.
Yeah. The Dynamite. Y'all remember that? Come on.
The father, actually, no, I take that back. The father was a strong figure. When John Amos. Before they killed his character off, he was a strong brother.
Yes,
he was a strong image.
Yeah.
The problem was JJ was cooning.
Mm.
His level of cooning went too far on that show. But that was what advertisers and sponsors liked about that show. They didn't like John Amos. They didn't like Michael. Michael was woke.
Big time. His character was woke. But see what they did with John Amos? They got into a car accident in Mississippi. He was looking to find work and he got into an accident. I remember one of those episodes. And and I said, man, it's not it wasn't the same. I remember that show not being the same when he left. When he left, it wasn't the same anymore.
It took the serious sides out of it.
Yeah, it wasn't the same. Yeah, and they needed that because I remember Huey P. Newton mentioning I don't know if I think you remember mentioned a show. I don't remember Roots, but he mentioned some show that didn't depict us too well at all. And he said that, and Huey P. Newton came on and said that, man, I'm not looking at that show. We need to depict more positive. We need to depict more positive role models and more positive images of ourselves on television. We can't keep looking at us in negative images, brother. Nah, we gotta. And I remember watching the documentary of Huey P. Newton saying that of the Black Panthers, and I said, yeah, he's right. And then after that, okay, here comes 1980. 1980, the Bill Cosby Show was aired.
I don't want to forget that Bill Cosby came under fire from those in the black community when he got up there, and he had this little rant. There's a book that he wrote, but he had a little rant at some of the speaking engagements about what black people need to do and stop doing.
Right.
And it came off more so. It came off like this. It's one thing. I do believe that there are certain things that are being done in our community that need to stop. But it's how you talk about it. It's who you approach. Mm-hmm. You approach it in a way from you. It got to come from love. Mm-hmm. If it don't come from love, it ain't helping. Mm. Okay, you can't just say, black man, you're this, and black woman, you're that. But then you're not really saying anything to help. You're just going along with the same talking points that racist white supremacists say. That ain't helping black folks. If you want to tell some young brothers to stop sagging and pull their pants up, okay, do it. But do it in a way that you also help brothers. If you want to tell sisters to watch themselves when it comes to the way they display themselves as sexual images, whether it be on TV or social media, then you need to say it in a way that helps and empowers black women.
Yeah.
Okay, not in a way that destroys them. Because then all you do is you join the hate campaign against your own people. You know what I'm saying? So
true.
Right. So Bill came under fire for that. So this is why when Bill was accused of all this stuff, that some of the black support kind of stayed away from him a bit. He
Yes,
still
true.
had some, but
Yeah.
you still had some that didn't forget how
What he
he
said.
acted around that time.
Yeah.
You know?
And not only that too. When I remember when you mentioned that, it's so true though, because a lot of us don't know how to when you're trying to warn somebody about, okay, why are you wearing your pants? Why are you wearing your pants low? Or why so much of our females are on social media portraying themselves, but sexually portraying themselves. So it's like it's sort of so true that we got to know if we can reach out to those and just more so look at look at images in the past, like maybe I should mention her name, Sarah Barton, for instance.
Who's that?
Sarah Barton was a woman in 1812, 1813, and she was an African woman, and I think in Uganda. I think it was Uganda, and the French seen her. The French journeyed to Africa, and they seen her, and she was voluptuous, big boobs, big buttocks, big booty, big boobs, and they never seen a woman. They look at African women. They looked at us as not even human around that time. We were considered like a different species different species per se, because when they captured Sarah Barton, they not only captured her, but they wooed her to come into Europe, and they told her that she didn't speak. I guess she had a translator because she didn't speak English at the time. But they told her that she will give her fame and they give her fortune. When she went to France, she was displayed as a circus act.
I think I know what you're talking about. I
If
just
you
don't
remember
know
the-
her
if you
name.
remember-
I see
yeah.
pictures.
Sarah, but she was displayed as a circus act. And you know the circus act that she was. You know what? What they displayed her as? Oh, as a creature, because
Because of her body shape.
Because of her body shape. They were
Body
touching
shape,
her boobs.
color.
They were touching her butt cheeks. They were touching her boobs, and they were looking at her. I mean, she doesn't know. She's young. She's maybe about 15, 16. She's 15,
Jesus
16.
Christ.
And they depicted her, and men are touching her, and they're throwing things at her on the stage, and what they did to her, they put a little chain around her neck, and have her and put her in some kind of wild animal clothing. It's very, very very little clothing she had on, and they just looked at her in amazement like she was some kind of animal, and they mocked her. The guy was pulling her with a chain around her neck, and she got on crawling on the stage like an the French is just wooed with that. That image is messed up, and they wanted to, and I heard this is rumors. This is rumors. They wanted to display this in them. It was a documentary, and it came out as a movie too. But they wanted to put this more on the big. They wanted to reiterate this and put this back on the big screen so everybody could see. And I was not for it, because we have enough negative. Have a lot of heat coming towards our way and negative images coming towards our way. And our sisters can learn from, look at that and be like, well, I don't want to display myself as that. We can learn from Sarah Barton. She died young.
So that sounds like a good point you made. And I want you to hold on to that for a topic that's more close to that. So we'll save that.
Yeah, we'll save that, but we
right. Let's go back to
Bill Cosby. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What does Bill do now? Because Hollywood's not messing with him. Look, if you beat the case is one thing. When you don't beat the case, you definitely nobody dealing with you. But his case is not even over. Like, for instance, Kobe Bryant beat the case. No, hold on. Let me not say it like that, because beat the case is like implying that he got off.
Yeah.
After doing it. The evidence that came forward in that Kobe case, they said not guilty. Okay? Now, let's just say this. because a lot of things that happened with that Kobe thing.
Yeah.
There was for a certain time nobody that messed with Kobe, but when Kobe was declared not guilty of rape, Kobe's career came back to prominence as far as his fame. He was always playing good at that time. As a matter of fact, he won a championship. I think he won a championship that year of the actual trial, if I'm not mistaken. I think the year of the trial, he won. I can't remember. I think they played. What year was that? They might have played. I think they played Philly in the finals.
Was that in 2011, 12, around that time? Had to be.
I don't know, but I don't have the dates in front of me.
Yeah, I remember it was a while ago.
Yeah, speaking to the mic.
It was a good while ago, you know. So
but
man,
right,
yeah.
so let me get to my point. So the thing is, Bill Cosby has basically been called guilty by the world before the actual trial took place. You know what I'm saying? That's the point I'm making. That's messed up. You don't see that on the other side. And you know what I mean by the other side. You don't see that. Okay?
Yeah, man.
You only see it on this side, on the black hand side. You know, for some reason on the black hand side, they never get a chance to speak their piece. So I ask you, what would your advice be for brothers out there to avoid this? Let me say what I think. Now, I'm going to agree with you said, with a lot of stuff you said. You said, watch your circles, right?
Yeah.
Let's just say this. I'm not in the game of out there smashing random women. I'm not. But Dave Chappelle did a skit on the Chappelle Show about signing disclosure forms before any act of sex is going on. Look, when it comes to these celebrities and non-celebrities at this point, you know, this ain't your woman, even if she is your woman, you know, sunk in place anyway. You know, you better make sure that it's consensual. I ain't saying you got to videotape everything you're doing for proof. I'm not saying that. But you got to make sure stuff is consensual before you get down with the get down. Although, you know, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Definitely watch your circles, but definitely get some. I mean, look, if it's come to the point where black men, because, you know, let's just keep it real, you don't see too many stories about white men happen to go through all of this just to okay, let me say this right. You don't see all the time white men being attacked in the media like black men are when they're accused of sexual assault. Okay? You don't see that with them. But specifically for black men, you're gonna have to come up with some paperwork. Like, it's to that point where you need an actual sex contract. Like, for real.
Whoa. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
What was the name of that? It was a politician that was accused of that too. Skinner, something like that. It was in New York City. I forgot his name. He was one. I think he got off anyway.
He was accused of sexual assault.
Yeah, but actually,
but he wasn't convicted.
He wasn't convicted though. No. Got his name. White. Right. Got his name. Yeah.
Because we're talking about accusals. I mean, convictions is another thing, but we're talking about accusals. How this happens before a court date. People are saying they're guilty. Man, they lose everything.
Let me tell you something, man. As soon as they said you did something, everything just goes. All fingers pointed to you. As soon as you said you did something, automatically endorsement starts getting pulled out of you. Automatically, this starts dropping. Automatically, nobody want to deal with you.
Before you've ever spoke your side. Then when you speak your side, they don't believe you.
So let's look at.
But guess what? When black women are being victims of sexual assault, do they always take their side first?
That's a good question.
They don't. You know why? Because in America, no matter how many marches we hear Black Lives Matter, in this world, Black lives do not matter. So that's why when a sister talks about what happened to her, she don't get the same benefit of the doubt that a white woman does. She don't. So people are probably listening to this and thinking, well, you know what, man, you pulling a race card. No, I ain't pulling no race card.
What happened to Sandra Bland?
What's that? Oh, I mean, that's a different situation. I'm staying on the sexual assault topic as far as that.
Yeah.
I mean, you had the woman who accused Mike Tyson. You had that.
Oh, yeah. I remember that case. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Years ago.
Say if the woman is black and then the man is white, that she's saying who sexually assaulted her. There was a cop in Oklahoma City who had I think it was 10 to 13 women, allegedly. These were black women here. One of the black women got on the stand and said that, you know, this guy said before he raped her, yeah, I bet you never had a white D before.
Whoa.
Now, this cop thought he was going to get off because he's like, these black women accusing me. They ain't gonna get me.
I always think that.
All white juror, well, at least majority white,
right,
said he was guilty. This man's in jail. Now, this man, now let me just say his nationality. Sorry, I got to do this.
Okay.
Now, he's white, he's half white, he's half Asian.
Oh, okay.
So, maybe that's why he got convicted, the Asian side. I'm just keeping it real.
Okay.
But there was a lot of women who came forward and said, and then
he did this and he did that.
And he did that, and then there was evidence and stuff like that. So the man was crying in court, crying. So what I'm saying is, my question to you, Zaccheus, is when it comes to the media, let's talk about the media part. The media's perception. Mm-hmm. Okay. What does it say about the media when it comes to the Bills and the Bill Cosbys of this world? You know, what does it say about the media's perception and how they treat, you know, people like the Bills of this world?
Well, I look at it like it can be biased.
Yep.
It can be very biased because when you look at Bill Cosby's case, and you look at Bill Cosby's case, and you just look into his case, and you see that all these women are coming out, and it's not stopping. He's getting everything pulled out of it. He's getting everything pulled out of him. It's not stopping. It's just that right now, Bill right now is not even Bill right now is if you go on YouTube right now, you'll see, and there's so much stories about Bill right now. He's no longer famous anymore. And I was going through YouTube and I see, what do you mean no longer famous anymore? Bill Cosby is no longer getting any spotlight treatment, if you know what I mean by that. He's definitely he's got his popularity pulled from him. He lost popularity, and everything when it comes to him. I would have been nice for him to buy a network, man.
He should just start his own, like Oprah.
Yeah, own. Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
It would have been nice, but but this is going to tell you, Fifth, in these days you gotta start your own thing, man. Yeah, you can't depend on nobody to start it for you. You gotta start your own thing, and more of us got. That's what, shout out to Tyler Perry and and others that studio and
that create their own lane.
Cube Vision that create their own lane, and Flavor Unit that create their own lane.
Shout out to Queen Latifah and Shakim.
Yeah, so listen, Bill, you're right. Fifth, he could have started his own. Stay out the media. Don't stay out the approval of NBC, ABC, and the other networks, and start your own. Sometimes we just need to do that. Sometimes, no, we need to do that all the time.
All the time.
And that's my thing.
I just find the timing, like we were saying earlier, I find the timing a bit off that they all came forward around this time. But from a media standpoint, you can't trust them. The thing is that the media is not fair, and it's not balanced. So a fair and balanced media would have did a better job by Bill Cosby, but they sided with the accusers so early. And I honestly believe that they decided with the accusers because Bill is black and the women who accused them were white women. If these were all, like, for instance, Beverly Johnson was on The View, and she talked about her situation and what she went through with Bill Cosby. They didn't feel sorry for her, not as much as they did for Janice Dickinson. Okay? That's the point I'm making. When, you know, if it's black women, and then what if it happened? My thing is, for the women that it did happen, you know, okay, they deserve justice. For the women that it didn't happen, you make it hard for women who, you know what I'm saying? You make it hard for other women now. You know, you don't want to be the girl who cried wolf. Because now when other women come forward, they don't believe that, like, women who falsely accused, that's, you know, they should do the time. If you're a woman, you've had situations where black men are in jail right now. Some of them have had, I saw a couple articles about a few men getting their sentences pardoned because the woman said she lied. What's the biggest and historical thing of a false accusal that we know of right now that we can speak about? And that is Emmett Till.
Whoa, speak on it, brother.
This woman came forward, okay?
We should play that song right now.
Look,
speak on it, brother.
You know what? Yeah, I'll speak on that in a second. This woman, do you know the woman who accused Emmett Till of whistling at her or talking to her or whatever
she
at
lied.
the time? She admitted that she lied.
Yeah.
First off,
Yeah.
let me just say this.
Yeah.
I wasn't even born then. Neither was you. But just from what we read at that time, we knew that was probably a lie. And secondly, even if it wasn't a lie, what the heck, a 14-year-old deserves that? Oh, was Emmett Till? Was he 14 at the time?
He was 14 at the time. 14 years old.
We got a song called Mississippi Tears.
14 years old.
And your verse deals with Emmett Till. The song is about Emmett Till and Medgar Evers.
Mm-hmm.
Emmett Till started what happened to Emmett Till started the civil rights movement.
Yes.
Think about it. This woman who lied started the civil rights movement when you think about it.
Yeah.
Because she lied.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the blood is on her hands of all the other people who got killed from that point on.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm going there. That's a bit much.
Yes. Yes.
That's a bit much.
Yes.
But it might be a bit much, but it's the truth. Because that's what that lie started. That lie started the civil rights. That if it wasn't for that lie,
it triggered the civil rights movement.
If it wasn't for that lie, there wouldn't have been Martin Luther King. There would have been a Malcolm X. There would have been. First Medgar Evers. There wouldn't have been Medgar Evers.
Yeah,
there would have been Martin.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there would have been Malcolm. There would have been Martin.
Mm-hmm.
There wouldn't have been the Black Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
There wouldn't have been Fred Hampton. There wouldn't have been
Bobby Seale.
Bobby Seale. Well, that's the Black Panthers.
Yes, Black.
You know what I'm saying?
Andrew Cleavage. That's a Black Panthers too.
Right. Speaking to the mic. So
that's a Black Panthers too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There wouldn't have been people like James Baldwin. You know what I'm saying? There wouldn't have been people like James Meredith. I mean, there's a lot of people and a lot of lives that died.
Triggered off of a lie.
And it has, and it's not just the right to vote. I know people do this. Black people die for the right to vote. You know, but to be honest, and maybe this is for another show. To be honest, black people died for their right to live. Okay, black people wanted a right to live, to be treated as human beings. And yeah, that included voting and other stuff.
Yeah.
That's what they died for. They didn't just die for the right to vote. They wanted to live and be treated like citizens like everybody else. That's the bloodshed that happened. Not so much just for the right to vote.
Yeah.
Yes, you have black people out there who are specific about the right to vote, but first it was a right to live. And so I believe that the blood, that lie, not only is Emmett Till's blood on their hands, but Medgar Evers and anybody else who came forward, blood on their hands, just from that lie.
Yeah.
That's why it's very dangerous. Okay, especially when the man is black and the woman is white. Yes. It is very dangerous to falsely accuse a black man of rape, or any man of any man, no man. White, black, no man deserves to be accused of rape, to be falsely accused of a crime, anything.
They didn't try her because I think they was going to pen the case, but they didn't really put that case in put it into drive because it was so long. It was 1955.
Well, first off, these men admitted what they did to him.
They
weren't going to throw him in jail.
Well, the men are dead now, right? The two men that did that.
They were not
40 years old. Man.
They were not going to convict the men who brutally beat Emmett Till to
shot
death
him,
anyway.
beat him, and tossed him in the Tallahassee River.
They were not going to convict him because that didn't happen at that time. You could do whatever you want to a black man at that time.
Oh,
As a matter of fact, what we see and what still gets taught today in this justice system is that you could still do that. Okay? It's just the fact that the woman came out and admitted that she lied recently.
Or if she didn't do that,
I'm saying.
If she didn't do that, we won't be. If she didn't come out and admit that, you know what it is? It been eating her up for decades.
Yeah, and let it eat her up. Let it eat at her for decades, and let it eat at her even more. She's gonna take that to her grave.
Let her take that to her grave because.
Well, I didn't hear an apology. How about that? No. I heard her admit that it was a lie, but I didn't hear an apology
to the family. No, I didn't hear no apology.
You should apologize to the Emmett Till's family and apologize to Black America because of what that started.
Yeah, you know what? And you know what?
Same thing with Rosewood. Same thing happened with Rosewood. Some woman went out there and said the whole town got burnt down. You know,
Black Wall Street too.
Black Wall Street.
Black Wall Street too. Black Wall Street.
Black Wall Street. The first 9/11. It's all happened.
Yeah.
With a white woman lying.
You know, it's just really continuous. Moments of history continued this, and as you can see,
it's still happening to this day.
Emmett.
Central Park 5. Okay, Central Park 5. You have a situation where a football player was accused of raping this white woman in college. She said it was a lie. They let the man go, cleared his record, thank God, and they gave him some money, but nothing happened to the woman. Nothing happened to the woman. The woman is walking around here scot-free, lied, ruined somebody's life, you know, all because she lied. She didn't get held accountable for a lie. And if she lied in court, that's perjury. Hello?
Oh, man, yeah.
If Lil' Kim could go to jail for perjury, why not?
Why not her? Yeah.
Why not people who falsely accuse people of rape?
Yeah. Tell it because it's really it's just continuous, and it's like you said before, it's still continuing to this day. Falsely accused of something. A lot of black men are sitting in prison falsely accused of something that they didn't do. Falsely accused, getting executed. Falsely accused of something they didn't do. Remember the song you had? Falsely accused of doing something they didn't do. Yeah.
You're talking about Criminal Just Us. That's about Troy Davis.
Yeah.
Okay, now that was a murder case, and we do have we'll talk about that in another show.
Yeah, but
we'll save that for another topic. But
we're gonna jump back on Bill Cosby, man.
Yeah.
The Bill Cosby is a trail. Let's just reflect on the positivity of Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby was a trailblazer for entrepreneurship, a trailblazer for comedians, a trailblazer for having comedians on, a legend he was to me he was like my first animator I've known about, first black animator I've known about, you know. So we give homage and props to Bill Cosby, and we stand by the brother no matter what, you know. I mean,
if he didn't do it, I'm with that. If he did do it, then I ain't with that. You know what I'm saying? But at least let's see what happens. My thing is that it's been all this time, no convictions. So, I'm still gonna wait on that.
Bill Cosby is 79 years.
Yeah, he's losing his vision right now, man. You heard about that?
No, I didn't hear about that.
He said he's going blind.
He's aging, man. He's 78, gonna be 80. He's 79 years old now.
Yeah, I saw a picture of him. He was like cockeyed.
Yeah, see. Yeah,
but
so and it's so sad that they have to, at his age, they gotta bring this up now.
Well, my thing is this: is that if you do something in the past and then you never tried for it, I mean, stuff, what's done in the dark eventually comes to the light. So I understand that.
Which is true.
But if it's wrong, then it's wrong, and you need to leave the man alone, and then you need to apologize. But my thing is that we know how the justice system is when it comes to black men being falsely accused of sexual assault and crime, period. We know how the media is. Now, let's talk about the fact that since we have those two established, what do you think? Okay, let's put it like this. What do you think Bill does going forward? Does he just seep into the shadows and then just don't do anything else? What do you see from that, Bill Cosby?
I think Bill Cosby might reflect on what has happened and not. He might want to start his own entity. He might want to do that, or maybe, or it could happen where he's losing because of the case. He's losing so much money, where he just fade out as a legend.
Yeah,
that's what I think. That's what I think that could happen to Bill Cosby.
You know what? I think another reason why I think they're doing this to him, because when he passes away of old age, respectfully, that this will be on his legacy now. So now you can't even talk about the good things.
Yeah.
You can't even talk about the good things now. That's what I think is going to happen. So let's go into closing. I'll end it with you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is what I want to say, because we got to wrap this show up. It's a little under an hour today. We might just end on the hour as long as I make my point. But my thing is this. Bill Cosby has definitely fallen from grace, and it's sad. But my thing is, if he did it, then that's one thing. But if he didn't do it, then now, going forward, you have to erase these accusations from him. Like, you need to erase it. Like, going forward, you can't even talk about it like it still happened. Because you have people doing that with Kobe. People still call Kobe a rapist.
Wow. Okay.
That's another point I'm going to make. When black men, this happened with Nate Parker,
Michael Vick.
This is dog fighting. So Michael Vick's another good example. When black men and black women, but more so black men, both, because all right, when black people, black folks, black men and women, when brothers and sisters are accused of these things in court, and they either are convicted or not convicted. They're convicted, they do their time, get themselves back into society. What happens is you never see them bounce back. Either you do or you don't.
Which is true.
Now, if you didn't do it, you definitely don't need to have no doors closed in your face. But the thing is that it's not what you tell them. It's what they believe.
It's true.
Okay? The thing is that there's not enough of a fair industry, okay, so that when something happens to them, that they have something else to fall back on. Hollywood is a racist industry. Let's just keep it real. Yeah, you have black people in Hollywood, but you have so many things that go on that keep them from excelling, or they make them do things to have them excel that compromises themselves and their beliefs. So that's industry that builds in, comedy industry, whatever. No matter what industry you're into in this world, you will always be tried in the court of public opinion when you're black. Okay, especially when the accuser is white or non-black. You don't even necessarily got to be a white person to accuse somebody black of doing something, as long as you non-black, So, my thing is, and I know I'm kind of long-winded here, is that you have to watch everything you do. You got to watch everything you do, whether you're a celebrity or not. You know what I'm saying? You got to watch everything you do. You showing me a thing of Derrick Rose. That's interesting. But the women who are accusing them are not white. So the thing is that this is what I see from Bill. sadly, I see Bill fading into the shadows. Because even when this is all said and done, the doors have already been closed on him. Nobody's dealing with him. The jokes have been crazy towards him. I'm not going to lie. Some of them I've even laughed at because it was comical at times. I'm not going to lie. But still, I would say like this. If you are somebody who is doing something with your life, you really want to watch who you roll with, and you don't be so quick to act with sex. I mean, one of the things that black men are stereotyped for is being very sex-seeking. Every time you turn around, you always see men as the black buck, kind of, stereotype. Or he just wants to have sex. And people know the stereotype, and so you have people who want to try us that way. Oh, well, he a black man. I know he'll want me because that's what I see. So you guys got to think with your brains, man. You guys got to think with your brains, okay? Your brain inside your head, okay? You got to think wisely, man, okay? And you need to just sometimes just be alone. This is why I don't do the club thing. I don't do none of that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you be with people you trust. And, look, people are consensual adults.
That's right.
If you're consenting adults, I mean, you have to know who the heck you having sex with. I mean, we talking about sexual assaults here. You got to know who you laying with. You don't know who you laying with. This is the stuff that happens. You get falsely accused of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So, that's my whole thing. Let me wrap it to you, and I'll let you finish off.
When it comes to being happy for who you are, sometimes a lot of us brothers have to want to get into it, approach female counterparts and sometimes the female counterparts they like, whoa, wait a minute, you're coming on too strong to me. And sometimes we have to practice self-control. Sometimes we do have to practice self-control. We do have to be careful who you partner up with. These is all facts. Who you gonna be your partner is very important. It's very, very important. And I know sometimes a lot of us, sometimes even the black females say we don't want to be alone because you're caught up in the infatuation. You don't want to be alone. You don't want to be alone. You want to be with somebody sometimes, but you have to find happiness within yourself and seek God, and he'll satisfy that inner need. And sometimes sometimes we come off a little bit like we're needy of, sex. The Bible talks about self-control, and we all do have to practice self-control. And when we do practice self-control and we wait on the master above, that's sometimes you don't even have to look too hard, and your partner's right there underneath your nose. So, to make a long story short, put him first, and do not be eager to jump into bed with somebody right away because they look good, and don't be too eager. And get to know your partner. Get to understand where they're coming from. Don't ignore things. When you see things, do not ignore it. And that's a lot of mistakes that we do. We ignore the signs, but we continue. My brothers and sisters out there, we got to be careful. We got to be mindful, and we got to be. The Bible says, "Be wise. Be wise as be wise, and don't be so eager to just jump into anything with someone." Or go to mad clubs and go to parties. Then you meet someone the first night you meet someone, you want to jump into bed with them right away. Be wise as a serpent. Be humble, but just humble yourself and just wait. And he'll find you someone. There's a lot of us that we just eager we get married, and that's a lot of us get married like that too. We jump and we get married because you're like, oh, she just treats me so nice. But you didn't get a chance to know who she is. You didn't get a chance to know what level she's on. You didn't get a chance to know what level he's on. You didn't get a chance to understand where they're coming from, what's their goal, what's their passions. This is all important. All important. So be mindful, and our hearts go out to Brother Bill. Bill Cosby. Our mind and heart goes out to Bill Cosby. Shout out to him, his family, and this is just a lesson in this. Brothers and sisters, we gotta be aware and be careful who we mix with out there, and we gotta be watchful. Even with our own, we gotta be watchful. We gotta be mindful. So this is Z.
All right. So before we go, let's give out our information. Contact me at the Fifth General, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. For future sponsorship and advertising, holla at me on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, or you can holla at Wayne. I'm sorry, you can holla at Zaccheus.
Yeah.
I was gonna say your handle, but
That's
go
okay.
ahead and give you information how they can reach you and stuff.
Yeah, at Wayne Bacchus 2 on Twitter. And you can holler at me on Instagram, Zaccheus, Zaccheus B73, small b 73. That's on Instagram. That's Zaccheus, Zaccheus B73. And on Facebook, you can just holler at me at Wayne Bacchus on Facebook, or Wayne Zaccheus Bacchus. Wayne, and you got Zaccheus Bacchus on Facebook. So yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
Yo, be mindful. Like I said before, once again, be mindful of who you mix with. Be careful of your friends, and put God first, and be mindful of who you mix with. And remember, there's always a lesson to be learned when you hear other people's stories. You don't gotta be in the story, but you can learn from their story.
All right. Amen. So continue listening to us on audiomac.com. You can stream and download on audiomac.com. Also for looking at it on YouTube, streaming us on YouTube. We thank y'all. To the brother right next to me, his name is
Mr. Z, Zaccheus.
All right. And I'm Fifth. And we'll see y'all next episode of another edition of Mr. Z and Fifth.
Yeah.
Peace.